It's Friday night, and the dogs and I have finally made it to our secret camping spot about 5 minutes away from the Big Bear venue, not at our usual Camp Walmarts. There are several Walmarts kind of in the area, about an hour away, but all of them require you to go down a crazy, twisty mountain road, which is just not fun in the RV. You got to worry about the brakes overheating. And since I'm driving like a turtle, traffic backs up behind me, and I'm constantly pulling over into those little cutouts to let traffic go by. So the hour drive turns into like an hour and a half drive. It's just not a fun experience. But more importantly, California has just become pretty hostile to RVs. I'm assuming with their homeless issues and people living in RVs everywhere, they just don't want us in the parking lot. We are full-time RVers, so I guess I am a homeless person, although I'm not trying to live in your parking lot. I'm just killing time between races, but they don't know that. We've been doing the whole Spartan RV Walmart camping thing since like 2018. I'm sure at this point we've stayed at hundreds of Walmarts, and I've only actually been asked to leave one out of all that time. Whereas this trip to California, we got kicked out of three. So that's good times. The problem was we went from the Montana race to Big Bear, which was only about 20 hours. So when we left Sunday night, we got into town Wednesday. So we had Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to kill, and then Saturday and Sunday places to stay. There are about 6 Walmarts within an hour radius of Big Bear. So the plan was to kind of stay at one during the day, and then when early evening, kind of under the cover of darkness, move to the next one where we would camp at for the night, and then just keep shuffling around. That way we weren't in any one parking lot for an extended period of time. Sort of worked. Wednesday we got into town early evening. The first Walmart we kind of picked at random. There's zero grass in California in any of the parking lots, so that's not good for the dogs. But at least this one had a spot kind of off to the side of the building, in towards the back. So I kind of figured that management probably wouldn't even know we were there, and probably wouldn't care because we weren't like taking up any spots or being too obvious. Still didn't have a great feeling. I kind of figured we'd get a knock on the door shortly after closing, tell us to leave, but we didn't. So that was good. So Wednesday night was fine. Thursday we get up, move to the next parking lot where we're going to hang out for the day. That didn't go so well. It seems like all the Walmarts around here have very generic no parking signs. It doesn't really tell you the rules. It just said something like California parking rules strictly enforced, which means nothing to me because I don't know what the California parking rules are. But anyways, we were there for a couple hours, maybe 4 or 5, I don't know. But then security rolled around, and they were nice, but they just knocked on the door and told me that it's a 2-hour customer-only parking limit, and that I needed to leave. So not a big deal. We were only down 2 Walmarts out of 6, so we moved to the next one for our evening camping stay. This one was even kind of worse than the Wednesday night one. No grass again, but the spot we were in was more out front, even though we were off to the side. But I just didn't like it. I thought for sure we're going to get kicked out. We didn't. Thursday morning, wake up, go to take one of the dogs out for her morning pee, and that's when security pounced on us. Nice lady. She said that the nighttime manager knew we were there and we were supposed to be, but really didn't care. But the morning manager came in and was not happy. And she told us that they had called the tow truck company and that they were on their way. Really didn't believe her. I kind of figured that was just her way of getting me to move without arguing, but it worked. I quickly packed up and we moved to the adjacent Petco parking lot, half because I wanted to see if a giant tow truck did show up, if she was lying or not. It never did. I kind of figured it was a lie. Most towing companies probably don't have a rig big enough to tow my RV, and if they did and you called them to tow me, and then you told me to leave before they got there, I think they'd be kind of pissed at you. It would be a waste of time for them and loss of a good towing bill, because I'm sure that would be several $1,000s to bring that big rig out. So kudos to her. It worked well. It did scare me. It got me to move immediately, and I will mark that Walmart as one I will not go back to. But I think it was just a tactic to get me out of there. So props to her for being smart. She probably gets her out of a lot of arguments with people. But so now we're Thursday morning. Got more time to kill, so we moved to our third Walmart. We were there a couple hours until security came by. Nice young kid, same story, 2-hour parking limit. I lied to him and said I had a Zoom business call in an hour, and then I was going to leave after that. He was pretty cool. He said, okay, that's fine. He's like, it just moved to the other side of the parking lot so I can tell my boss that I told you to move, and then you can have another 2 hours. So that's what we did. Moved off to the other side of the parking lot, hung out there for a little bit. I was just trying to kill time before we moved somewhere to stay Friday night. At that point, I was kind of giving up with Walmart, so we went up to our Big Bear spot where we are now. And I hope we don't get kicked out of here, because if we get kicked out of here, I don't really have anywhere else to go other than back to Walmart an hour away, which I don't want to do. So We're going to stay here for the weekends. Since we'll be gone most of the day for the race, I don't feel too uncomfortable being here. I think we did the VIP parking at Big Bear, so I think I can stay there probably pretty much all day into early evening, and then just come back to this spot at night to sleep. Hopefully that's the plan. This is very convenient for the race. It's what we've been using every year, and if we get out of here, it's going to make Big Bear a lot harder. So sad to see that California has gone anti-RV. I mean, I guess I can't blame them, but it definitely sucks. If I have to start going to campsites and things, it'll make this Spartan lifestyle much more expensive, which I don't want to do, but we'll see. So until then, hopefully Walmart will continue to let us park there. I want to add to that last video that while staying in the RV in California is not good, driving on the West Coast is absolutely awesome. The scenery is gorgeous. People can actually drive out here. They don't freak out if it snows. We ended up going from the North Carolina race all the way to Big Fork, Montana. So we've been doing a lot of driving cross country, and the farther west you go, the better. South Dakota, beautiful. Montana, Arizona, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, all the states out here, even California. Beautiful place to drive, just don't stay in California. I had to clear out some of the memory card for the dash cam, so I just grabbed some random clips of the scenery out here. Like I said, it's absolutely gorgeous. If you've never driven out west, I suggest you do. Now that we're not tied to Maryland anymore, I think I'll spend more time on the West Coast between races. So Spartan, I hope you do more West Coast races. The East Coast is full of them, which I appreciate, but I would like to spend more time out here. The driving is just so much better. So enjoy some of the dash cam footage. If you want to help support Spartan Race Dogs and save yourself some money, stay tuned for a message from Snoop about the upside.